So last up, Ben Wallace and myself will talk a little bit about where we go from here. And we just got a ton of data, and Dr. Downing just touched the surface of what he's done for us. And Kenny Benson and Soil and Water Conservation District and the NRCS, they've also been out. They've done stream bed assessments. Carmen Creek runs all the way basically from Breda to the lake. And we've looked at that stream, we've looked at the erosion, we've looked at the practices out there, we've looked at the cropping patterns, and then the DNR itself, they're almost completing a TMDL study, which is a total maximum daily limit, right? And so Dr. Downing talked about loading and what we get in and what goes out and how that affects us. Well, that DNR study should do basically the same thing, only in a little bit different details, but they hopefully will confirm each other, and they'll give us even more data on what we have out there, and then we just need to decide what it is we want to focus on and who's going to focus on it. So Ben's going to talk a little bit about the community-based project planning and how that's going to come about.
Thanks, Tom. So yeah, I just want to take a few minutes to kind of introduce this community-based project planning. Kind of what we heard earlier tonight is a lot of the work that will be done in the watershed and in the lake basin is going to determine how we can improve the water quality of Black Hawk Lake and how successful this project is going to be. But one really important component to all of this is the community itself. Based on past successful restoration projects, the DNR has kind of put out some guidelines on working with these projects and helping the community to get involved. And the one thing that we keep finding, and this is kind of a point to drive home from this very short little presentation here, is the more the community gets involved, the more successful these types of projects can be. And so how does the community get involved right now? Well, at this stage, I'm pretty confident that everybody in here wants to see the lake improve to some extent. So what we want to know is what your personal concerns and ideas are for these projects. And for everybody it's different. Some people want to see, improved water clarity. That's the most important thing to them. Other folks, want to see the fisheries turn around. Well, they just want a deeper lake for boating and recreation. And these are all valid points. And so on top of these ideas on what they want to see improve, we want to hear your concerns. How much is this going to cost, whatever we decide to do? How might this affect your land that you may own in the watershed? And so the sooner that we can hear these concerns, the sooner we can address them and include this in the process of planning, and then we come out with a product that everybody can be happy with, and also a product that's good for the lake, the environment, in this community. And so what we want to see here is kind of the development of two different groups, and that'd be the technical advisory team and the steering committee, which I'll talk about both of those here real briefly. Now, the technical advisory team is usually made up of local governments and experts in the field of natural resources management. So, for example, here, it would be something along the lines of the mayor of Lakeview or the city administrator. The Soil and Water Conservation District and the NRCS, which we were just talking about earlier, these people, these agencies specialize in land stewardship and help landowners to protect the resource. The county conservation boards, so here would be the Sac County Conservation Board, they specialize in acquiring public lands for people to enjoy and also provide a lot of habitat for the wildlife. Iowa State University, they did a lot of really good work on this diagnostic feasibility study, and Dr. Downing and Kelly Poole, their crew is a great technical resource. And then of course the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, we work in these lake restoration projects, and we also manage the fisheries in these lakes and all of our public lakes around the state. So, and it's not limited just to these agencies, these are just examples of what might be on that. Now the steering committee is where the local stakeholders can really get involved, and this includes just about everybody. I mean, we're talking about boaters and anglers who use the lake itself frequently, landowners and farmers. These people, have a lot at stake in this. They can be affected by these types of projects, but they could also be a real big part of the success in these lake restoration projects. Duck hunters, campers, bird watchers, outdoor enthusiasts, these are all people that use the lake or use the marshes that are in the watershed or just enjoy what these types of areas provide. And so these are all important stakeholders. Local business owners, we stand to gain a lot from the local tourism that Black Hawk Lake brings in. And of course the local citizens. Everybody in this community wants, is concerned about what's going on here. And so I venture to guess that just about everybody in this room is a stakeholder in one way or another. And so what we kind of envision is a steering committee to be made up of about 10 to 12 members who are very willing and dedicated to taking this project in the right direction. Now, this project isn't going to happen overnight, so these people have to be pretty dedicated. You know, at the beginning they may meet as often as once a month to discuss their ideas and their concerns and where they want to take this. And you know, one of their responsibilities is going to be representing and reporting to all the stakeholders in the community, everybody that's interested, let them know what's going on, what they've been talking about, and seeing what everybody wants to see happen. And so what they would do then is work closely with the technical advisory team. So that team then would tell them, or the steering committee would bring their ideas, their concerns, and say, hey, this is what we want to see happen. The technical advisory team then would say, you know, give advice on the feasibility, the costs, the positive and negative effects, and maybe most importantly, the realistic outcomes of what the steering committee wants to see happen. So that's about all I have. I really just want to drive this point home that I think this is really a good way to get these types of projects done, because it gets it done how the community wants to see it done. And I'll put some sign-up sheets here over on the table. If you guys are interested in it, write your name down, your contact info, how you're affected by the lake, how you're affiliated with it, and hopefully we can get together a good crew that will take this project in the direction that it needs to go. I think with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tom, who's going to get a little more specific on that.
Wrap it all up.
Wrap it all up.
I have all